Yun Chujio had a righteous look on her face, but the villain in her heart was rolling around in laughter. She had finally taken revenge for what she had done back then. Humph, it was never too late for little Jio to take revenge. Elder Jing had woken up by now. Although he hated Yun Chujio to death, he couldn't say anything in public. He glared at Yun Chujio fiercely, then rode his sword and left. Elder Jing had just flown into the air when he heard the little girl say proudly, "One last thing, I'll do whatever I want in the future. Whoever dares to provoke me who owes me, I'll kill you." Elder Jing's body swayed and he almost fell off the flying sword again. He could see that this little girl's apology was fake, but she was really here to show off. However, this little girl was really brainless. Her arrogance must have caused a lot of people to be dissatisfied, and they would definitely find trouble with her. She was really stupid. How could he have known that a certain Jio had done this on purpose to attract some hatred so that she would be able to get away with it? A certain Jio jumped off the high platform and walked to Elder Yuan's side. "Elder Yuan, let's go. We'll go to the law enforcement office." After walking for a distance, Elder Yuan could no longer hold it in and said with a straight face, "You little girl is good at everything, but your personality is too flamboyant. Your words just now will definitely attract the displeasure of many people." After hearing that, Yun Chujio's impression of Elder Yuan became even better. She said with a smile, "It's okay. I know what to do." Elder Yuan saw Yun Chujio's stubborn look and shook his head. He would know when she had suffered a few losses. Young people still thought things were too simple. Elder Yuan handed Yun Chujio over to the law enforcement office and passed on the results of Master Bailey's punishment. Then he left. When the law enforcement disciples saw that Yun Chujio had committed another crime, they were speechless. They remembered that when Yun Chujio first came, she had said that she would come often in the future. They did not expect that her words had come true. Elder Chu had people bring the document to escort Yun Chujio to the Cave of Reflection. When the small leader of the teleportation formation saw that Yun Chujio had come again, he was overjoyed. Damn it, the Lady of Fortune had come again. The first time they met, the second time they became familiar with each other. This time, both sides were like old friends meeting. The small leader, "Yo, junior sister Yun, you're here again? What crime did you commit this time?" A certain Jio, "Don't mention it. I didn't do anything. I just beat up an inner sect disciple and made Elder Jing dizzy from anger. Do you think this is a problem?" The little leader, "Isn't this a problem? You are really courting death." In all these years, he had never seen anyone who would come to think every now and then. Moreover, this person was smiling as if he was going somewhere. Yun Chujio stood in the middle of the teleportation array with familiarity. "Come on, go early and come back early." The little leader was already powerless to complain. He activated the teleportation array and sent Yun Chujio to the number 14 meditation cave. When Yun Chujio arrived at the number 14 meditation cave, it was completely silent inside. A certain Jio quickly began to dig the cave, in case the wind blades arrived and she was in trouble. However, after 4 hours, there was no movement inside the cave. Not even a single wind blade, let alone thunder and lightning. This fellow could not help but feel a little guilty. Could it be that she had made a breakthrough in the number 15 meditation cave last time and caused the number 14 meditation cave to be damaged? That was not right. Although there was no thunder and lightning in the number 15 meditation cave, there were wind blades. It did not make sense that there was nothing in the number 14 meditation cave. Yun Chujio thought for a moment. Perhaps the interval between number 14's thoughts was quite long, so she decided to wait a little longer. After a day, there was still no sound inside number 14's thoughts cave. It was just like an ordinary cave. There were no wind blades or lightning at all. Damn it. She was extremely unlucky. She reckoned that number 14's thoughts cave was a defective product. That's right, this number was unlucky. She had requested to go to number 13 meditation cave at that time. Now, what should she do? This fellow rolled her eyes. If she told the truth, the higher-ups would definitely send people down to check it out. Who knows, they might even check out the other meditation caves. In that case, wouldn't she be exposed? therefore it was better to stay still. Therefore, this guy let the three in his dantian spit out lightning spiritual power. She would use it to cultivate. Although the three were unwilling, they still agreed. Soon, half a month passed. Yun Chujio felt that haste makes waste. She should stop for a while, so this guy decided to refine pills. In the outside world, she was afraid that the heaven-grade pills refined by the heaven and earth furnace would cause trouble, so she never refined them again. Guai Chao was especially edible, so there were not many heaven-grade pills left in her hands. The meditation cave was just right to isolate the smell, and it should not be able to attract heavenly lightning. Of course, if it could attract heavenly lightning, it would be a pleasant surprise. Therefore, this guy took out the heaven and earth furnace and began to refine pills. Yun Chujia's spiritual sense transmitted the sound of a baby babbling. It was the heaven and earth furnace's Qi Ling expressing its joy. Using the heaven and earth furnace to refine pills was simply too easy. As long as the medicinal herbs were thrown inside, the Qi Ling would naturally help refine them. Moreover, the pills that came out were all heaven-grade pills. Yun Chujio thought to herself, no wonder the gigolo had instructed her not to let anyone discover the heaven and earth furnace. If this was found out by others, they would definitely kill them and steal their treasures. This fellow refined pills one furnace after another, completely unaware that the entire primordial chaos sect had already exploded. The people of the primordial chaos sect had originally been living and cultivating according to schedule. However, they suddenly discovered that the spiritual qi of the entire primordial chaos sect had begun to weaken. How is this possible? Everyone from Master Bailey to the handyman in the kitchen were terrified. One had to know that the spiritual energy was the foundation of establishing a sect. If the primordial chaos sect lost its spiritual energy, then it would be on the verge of extermination. Thus, everyone hurriedly searched for the reason. Very quickly, everyone discovered something strange. On the back mountain of W Peak, there was a visible cluster of spiritual energy circling above, and the spiritual energy of the primordial chaos sect was still continuously gathering there. Master Bailey and the 6 Peak Masters tried to approach the cluster of spiritual energy. However, the power of the cluster of spiritual energy was extremely strong, and the edges were like wind blades. There was no way to approach it. Something was definitely wrong. There must be something below that was attracting the spiritual energy. If they didn't figure it out, the future of the primordial chaos sect would be bleak. Master Bailey had no choice but to invite the 4 supreme elders of the primordial chaos sect. These 4 supreme elders could be said to be the anchor of the primordial chaos sect. Unless the primordial chaos sect had an extremely important matter, they would never appear. When the 4 supreme elders arrived at the back of the mountain, they immediately frowned. They had lived for so many years, but they had never seen such a strange situation. Could it be that there were heavenly treasures or immortal beasts and divine beasts underground? Or perhaps, there was some evil way to absorb spiritual power? Or demonic plants? When everyone saw that the 4 supreme elders had no idea what to do, they immediately sank into a gloomy cloud. How would Alchemy 9 know that she could make such a big fuss just by refining a simple pill? Therefore, this fellow kept stuffing medicinal herbs into the heaven and earth universal furnace. In any case, there would be ready-made pills coming out soon. It was simply too convenient, wasn't it? This fellow did not idle around either. He took advantage of this time to start drawing talismans. The more the better. Who knows when it might come in handy? This fellow was acting like a demon below. The upper echelons of the primordial chaos sect were so worried that their hair was almost turning white. However, good news did not go out, but bad news spread far and wide. When the primordial chaos sect's archenemy, the Killing Origin sect, heard about this, it was simply a celebration for the entire sect. It was almost as if they were beating drums and gongs to send their Master Xiaoho over to see the joke of the primordial chaos sect. Master Xiaoho of the Killing Origin sect came to visit in a high-profile manner. Although Master Bailey was in a terrible state right now, he could only pretend to be indifferent and nothing happened to him to deal with him. Tieskese, Master Bailey, the spiritual chi of your primordial chaos sect used to be quite dense. Why has it become so dull now? Could it be that something has happened? Master Xiahou asked despite knowing the answer. Master Bailey knew that the primordial killing sect had spies in the primordial chaos sect, so he did not hide it. He said with a faint smile, "Indeed, something has happened. However, before the matter is clear, it can't be said to be a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing." Master Xiahou thought to himself, "What a stubborn duck." With a fake smile, he said, "Master Bailey, at this time, don't hang in there. I am here to help you. I see that your primordial chaos sect's spiritual essence will be exhausted sooner or later, and our two sects have a good relationship. Why don't we merge?" Master Bailey took a sip of tea. "Merge? How do you want to merge?" "Of course, your primordial chaos sect will be merged into our Shi Yuan sect. That way, you won't have to be homeless. Don't worry. When the time comes, I'll let you be the deputy sect master of our Shi Yuan sect," Master Xiahou said proudly. Master Bailey couldn't wait to slap the teacup in his hand on Master Xiahou's face. Master Xiahou snorted coldly and said, "To take a step back, even if the spiritual chi of the primordial chaos sect can't be recovered, our primordial chaos sect will find another place. Master Xiahou, you don't have to worry about it." Master Xiahou curled his lips. "You really are a stubborn duckling, looking for another place? Other than the territory of our killing origin sect, how could the immortal essence continent be comparable to this place? Let me give you a piece of advice. Aren't we cultivating for the great Tao of longevity? Why bother with some minor details? Joining our killing origin sect will only bring benefits and no harm." Master Bailey was already very troubled these few days. Now that Master Xiahou was making sarcastic remarks, one could imagine the degree of depression in his heart. Master Bailey barely suppressed the urge to beat Master Xiahou up. "Master Xiahou, our primordial chaos sect appreciates your kindness. When something similar happens to your murderous origin sect, our primordial chaos sect will follow suit. I still have things to do, so I won't stay any longer. Please." "Humph. This kind of thing won't happen to our murderous origin sect. If you ask me, your primordial chaos sect must have done something that angered the heavens. Otherwise, why would you be punished by the heavens?" "Shaolin, don't go too far. I have already tolerated you for a long time on account that you came from afar as a guest. Someone send the guest out." Master Bailey could no longer maintain his cordial appearance. This Shaolin was a piece of trash that deserved a beating. Occasionally missing content, please report errors in time. Master Xiahou sneered, "Bai Li Yin, aren't you used to putting on airs? Why aren't you putting on airs this time? Humph. Catching up isn't a business. There will come a day when you beg me." After Master Xiahou finished speaking, he arrogantly took his men and left. Master Bailey was so angry that he smashed his teacup into pieces. However, he knew that being angry wouldn't solve the problem. After calming himself down, he invited 4 Supreme Elders and 6 Peak Masters to discuss countermeasures. For now, it is best to find out what is underneath the Spirit Energy Ball. Only then can we find the right medicine, said a Supreme Elder. However, that Spirit Energy Ball is extremely overbearing. How can we find out what is underneath it? Master Bailey asked with a frown. Everyone immediately fell silent. Yes, it was very difficult to get close to it. How could they find out what was underneath it? Just as everyone was frowning, they felt that the room had suddenly turned dark. Everyone was shocked and hurriedly left the meeting hall. They saw that the sky was filled with dark clouds, and there was also an endless stream of dark clouds gathering towards the Hunyuan sect. Wu Yun and Master Bailey were in the middle of the meeting hall. To be precise, they were gathering towards the place where the Spirit Energy Ball was. Master Bailey inexplicably thought of Master Xiahou's words. Could it really be heaven's punishment? But the primordial chaos sect had been peaceful recently. How could it be a heavenly punishment? Although Master Bailey's heart was in turmoil, he still quickly gave the order for all the disciples to quickly gather at the primordial chaos square. This was because the primordial chaos square had an ancient array formation. Even if heavenly lightning fell, it could temporarily keep everyone safe. Therefore, everyone in the Primordial Chaos sect dropped what they were doing and ran to the Primordial Chaos Square. Even the people guarding the teleportation array at the Sigua Cave also ran to the Primordial Chaos Square. That little leader suddenly slapped his thigh. Oh no. There was still the goddess of wealth in the Reflection Cave. However, when he looked at the thick Wu Yun in the sky and felt the increasingly heavy pressure, he still could not move his legs. Sorry, goddess of wealth, you can count on yourself. However, the Reflection Cave was protected by the array, so it should not be affected. Coincidentally, Jin Ji and Yi Bingyu were about to break through these few days, so they had been in closed-door cultivation. If they had not received the news of the Identity Jade token, the two of them would have been in closed-door cultivation for a few more days. The two of them rushed to the Mixed Origin Square while sending a voice transmission talisman to Yun Chujio. The two of them were not too worried. After all, little Jio liked to be struck by lightning. Perhaps she was so happy that she had to come out. When the two of them rushed to the Mixed Origin Square, Yun Chujio's voice transmission talisman had also arrived. Jin Ji used her spiritual sense to probe inside. Yun Chujio's excited voice came from inside. What? Heavenly lightning is coming? Quick, get someone to let me out. I want to be struck by lightning to my heart's content. Only then did Jin Ji come to her senses. Perhaps the Reflection Cave was isolated from heavenly lightning, so she had to get little Jio out. Jin Ji immediately saw the small leader guarding the teleportation array. She hurriedly ran over and said, "Senior brother, little Jio is still inside the Cave of Reflection. Hurry up and let her out. Otherwise, something will happen." The small leader said guiltily, "Junior sister, this is not up to me to decide. To let her go, you need a document from the law enforcement office. Go and look for the law enforcement office first." Jin Ji had no choice but to look for Elder Chu from the law enforcement office. Fortunately, everyone had almost arrived at the Mixed Origin Square, so they didn't have to expend too much effort to find it. After Jin Ji explained the matter, Elder Chu didn't decline and directly went to see Master Bailey. Master Bailey was just about to speak when countless purple heavenly lightning struck toward the back of the Tianshu Peak. Master Bailey was shocked and quickly ordered someone to activate the ancient formation. There is an ancient formation inside the Cave of Reflection. Yun Chujio will be fine. Moreover, the teleportation formation leading to the Cave of Reflection must pass through the area where lightning strikes. For the time being, it is impossible to pass through. So tell her to stay in the Cave of Reflection in peace. Master Bailey said after pondering. Jin Ji was depressed. If it was an ordinary person, it would naturally be the best choice to stay in the cave. Unfortunately, Hei Shinjio loved being struck by lightning the most. If she couldn't get out, she would definitely be so depressed that she wanted to bang her head against the wall. Sure enough, when Jin Ji told Yun Chujio the result, she received a scolding from Yun Chujio. "Damn that little leader, he's just an ingrate. To think that I gave him so many spirit stones, and he actually ran away without caring about me. Wait for me to get out, see how I'll deal with him. And that old man Bai Li, he doesn't know how to care about his disciple at all, and actually allowed me to stay in the Reflection Cave and not care about him." The corner of Jin Ji's eyes twitched. This isn't all thanks to Master Bailey. He's been in a terrible state recently. I've only just heard that a lot of our Primordial Chaos sect's spirit chi has disappeared for some unknown reason. I heard that a huge ball of spiritual energy has formed at the back of the Tianshu Peak. It seems that the heavenly lightning is heading towards that ball of spiritual energy. Since you can't come out, just stay inside. I reckon that the heavenly lightning will end very soon. At that time, I will beg Master Bailey to let you out. Yun Chujio's muffled voice came from the voice transmission talisman. All right, you guys be careful too. Yun Chujio put down the voice transmission talisman and rubbed her chin, pondering. A huge ball of spiritual power? Could it be that a treasure was about to appear? No way. Whether it was for the treasure or for the heavenly lightning, she had to go out. Since she couldn't teleport out, then she would dig out. Perhaps this place was very close to the outside and she would be able to get out in an instant. This guy did it without hesitation. Moreover, he had learned from the previous lesson. This time, the angle was slightly higher so that he could dig out faster. This guy had just dug a short distance away. It was unknown if it was a coincidence or if the heavenly lightning was to strike her, but the tunnel collapsed by the heavenly lightning. This made Hei Shinjio extremely happy. She climbed out against the heavenly lightning to take a look. There was indeed a huge ball of spiritual energy not far away, but the ball of spiritual energy was rapidly shrinking. This guy's face stiffened. Why did this ball of spirit energy seem to be at the position of the cave of reflection on the 14th? Could it be that the treasure in her heart was not herself? This fellow slapped her thigh as she thought about it. Damn it. It must be because she had been refining pills with the heaven and earth furnace for the past few days that there was a large amount of spirit energy gathering. This heavenly lightning must have been attracted by the pill refining. This fellow was dancing with joy. She felt that she had discovered something extraordinary. Using the heaven and earth furnace to concoct pills could actually attract heavenly lightning. Then, would she still have to worry about not being struck by heavenly lightning in the future? After figuring out the sequence of events, what she needed to do now was naturally to enjoy the baptism of the heavenly lightning. This fellow lay sprawled on the ground, feeling really blissful. This heavenly lightning strike was still more comfortable. It was countless times stronger than the heavenly lightning in the Sigua cave. This fellow also brought out the Xiao Hanyo and Xiao Mogu, and the three perverts began to happily suffer the lightning strike. Wu Yun in the sky had a face full of confusion. Originally, it had used the heavenly lightning to punish someone because someone had refined a large number of heaven-grade medicinal pills. At the beginning, it had not been able to find the culprit, so it was a little flustered. It had finally hacked the culprit out of the ground with great difficulty, and originally thought that it would be able to complete the mission very quickly. But now, who could tell it what the three perverts on the ground were? Why couldn't it be hacked to death? Hey, Yun Chujio, can you be more professional? Chop it quickly. We are waiting. Yun Chujio said unhappily when she saw that the lightning had become a little sparse. Wu Yun heard Yun Chujio's provocation and could not be bothered to be puzzled anymore. He continued to chop her again. He only had one goal, and that was to chop this annoying little girl to death. It feels good. It feels really good. I haven't felt this good in a long time. Come again. A certain Jiao let out a satisfied sigh. Wu Yun was so angry that he was trembling. No wonder No Yun was willing to come when he accepted the mission today. They must have known that there was a pervert here. He was too naive. He actually thought that this was a very easy mission. This was actually a pit. It was a 10,000-year-old pit. The dark clouds struck for more than 6 hours, but they were still unable to kill a certain Jiao. A certain Jiao could only give up and retreat dejectedly. A certain Jiao saw that the dark clouds had retreated, and only then did she remember an important question. How was she going to end this? A huge deep pit had already been struck on the ground, and the bottom of the deep pit was directly connected to number 14's reflection hole. As long as someone went down to the bottom of the deep pit, they would discover number 14's reflection hole. A certain Jiao blinked her eyes. This was not necessarily a bad thing. She could just push the blame of number 14's reflection cave to heavenly thunder. Moreover, if she found out about number 15's reflection cave in the future, she could also shift the blame to heavenly thunder. Heavenly thunder was really cute. It could help her level up and also help her take the blame. It was great. Yun Chujio thought for a while and then returned to number 14's reflection cave. She lay on the ground and pretended to be dead. This guy was thinking well. Just as he was pretending to be dead, he heard a loud bang, followed by a cracking sound. This guy didn't care about pretending to be dead anymore. He quickly got up and was surprised to find that the wall, which she had cut a hole in, was strangely restored to its original state. This guy was stunned for a while. This wall had a self-recovery function? However, this wasn't a bad thing. It was better to avoid trouble. If no one found out, it would save trouble in the future. Therefore, this guy took out a voice transmission talisman and wanted to tell Jin Ji that he was safe. Unexpectedly, the storage ring couldn't be opened. Her heart sank. and then she found that her spiritual power was restrained. Her spiritual power was restrained, which meant that she couldn't take out the big kitchen knife. Without the big kitchen knife, how could she go out? She had a bad premonition in her heart. It was likely that the teleportation array wouldn't be able to teleport her out. Could it be that she was going to die in the no? 14 Reflection Cave? On the other side, the people in the Mixed Origin Square realized that the spiritual power was slowly recovering. They couldn't help but be overjoyed. Moreover, the Wu Yun had all retreated. The sun shone down directly, as if everything had returned to normal. Everyone cheered, as if they had survived a disaster. After Master Bailey and the others closed the ancient array, they rushed directly to the back mountain of Dubhe Peak. Their purpose was naturally to check the spiritual chi ball. When they arrived, only a small part of the spiritual chi ball was left, and it was still dissipating rapidly. It was believed that it would soon disappear. Not far away from the spiritual chi ball, there was a huge pit. Obviously, it had been struck by lightning. Everyone jumped down to take a look. They only saw that it was dark inside and did not find anything unusual. Master Bailey sent people to dig the deep pit and the place where the spirit energy ball gathered. They did not find anything unusual. At this time, Jin Ji and Yi Bingyu came to see Master Bailey with red eyes. Master, the sound transmission talisman we sent to little Gio has failed. She must be in danger. Let her out quickly. Jin Ji cried. Master Bailey did not take it to heart. He thought that this must be a trick that Yun Chujio, that little girl, wanted to be released in advance. However, he still asked the people from the law enforcement office to let Yun Chujio out. The little leader who was guarding the teleportation array was a little guilty. He knew that according to Yun Chujio's temper, she would definitely teach him a lesson when she came out. Therefore, he began to form seals while trembling in fear. He did not expect that nothing was sent out. The little leader comforted Jin Ji. Maybe the wind blade is blowing right now. After an hour, I will try again. After an hour, the little leader formed seals again, but nothing was sent out. 2 hours passed, but it still did not succeed. This time, not only Jin Ji was panicking, but the little leader was also panicking. If this Yun Chujio really died, it would be hard for him to escape responsibility. However, even if she was dead, there should at least be a corpse. Why was there nothing? Jin Ji anxiously went to find Master Bailey. Originally, he was just a small handyman, so how could Master Bailey take him to heart? However, Yun Chujio frequently went to his place to brush her face, and because of the Divine Devil Hall, Master Bailey was still quite attentive. Immediately, they really went to the teleportation array of the Reflection Cave to check. The little leader told them about the matter, and Jin Ji took the initiative to ask to go in to check. The little leader smiled bitterly and said, if there are people in the Reflection Cave, the others can't be teleported in. In order to make Jin Ji believe him, the little leader called over a disciple on duty. Sure enough, there was no way to teleport in. Jin Ji and Yi Bingyi's faces were pale. What should they do? Could they only wait? Master Bailey was also frowning. The recent events in the Primordial Chaos sect were all strange and bizarre. Why was this Reflection Cave abnormal? He had no choice but to invite the 4 Supreme Elders out again to ask for the method to save Yun Chujio. The 4 Supreme Elders shook their heads repeatedly. Since the sect was founded, the Cave of Reflection has existed. Even the teleportation array was left behind from ancient times. Therefore, there's nothing we can do. When Jin Ji heard this, she immediately felt her head buzzing. Fortunately, Yun Chujio often had such incidents, so she had some mental resilience. And Feng had no choice but to tell the news to Di Baiming. When the people of the Primordial Chaos sect heard that Yun Chujio was most likely dead, more than half of them were gloating. They couldn't blame others. Yun Chujio had been too high profile and attracted too many hatred points. The ones who were the most upset were Mountain Master Zhua, Elder Jiang, and the others of Tianji Peak. The little girl had died, and their plan to breed snow jade silkworms had been aborted. Therefore, the little leader who was guarding the Cave of Reflection was blamed. He was charged with leaving his post without permission, and he became a servant instead of an inner disciple. The little leader was so depressed that he almost committed suicide. However, after thinking about it, he realized that he had brought this upon himself. If he had mustered up the courage to let Yun Chujio out, there wouldn't have been anything else. Then what was Hei Shinjio doing? Ever since Hei Shinjio realized that her spiritual power could not be used, she could only place her hopes on the teleportation formation. Unfortunately, after a day and a night, there was still no movement. She knew that she could not count on the teleportation formation and could only save herself. Without spiritual power, the storage ring could not be used, and the items in the Great Void Mystic Realm could not be taken out. The biggest problem was, how could she survive without food and drink? Chapter 2700. Yun Chujio was so hungry that her heart was stuck to her back. Fortunately, she had a flash of inspiration and remembered that she still had Guai Chao. This fellow said with a never-before-seen good attitude, "Go Wei Ba, only you can save me now. Hurry up and get me something that can quench my hunger and thirst." Go Wei Ba wagged its leaves proudly. Usually, it always despised it for being able to eat, but now, didn't it still have to count on it? Yun Chujio's forefinger was oozing with liquid, and Yun Chujio quickly put it into her mouth. It had to be said that Go Wei Ba was still reliable. After this drop of liquid entered her stomach, Yun Chujio instantly felt refreshed. Now, it was time to think about how to get out of this predicament. Yun Chujio took out the small dagger from her boot and tried it, but it was useless. The guy sighed. Damn it, if he knew this would happen, he would have put the big kitchen knife on his waist. This way, he could use it even if he did not have spiritual power. The guy decided to make a knife case in the future and carry the big kitchen knife with him. He did not care whether it looked good or not, as long as it could save his life at the critical moment. In the blink of an eye, another 2 days passed. Although the liquid from the Guai Chao saved his life, anyone trapped in a stone room would feel so depressed that they would want to hit the wall. Fortunately, Yun Chujio had taken out a luminous pearl to light up the room. Otherwise, it would have been even more difficult to endure. Yun Chujio tried to communicate with the Great Void Mirror, but she did not succeed. As for the black pearl, she did not expect it at all. It was just a free meal. Yun Chujio asked Guai Chao to help her communicate with the Great Void Mirror. She wanted to see if she could enter the Great Void Mirror and find a way out. The result was very disappointing. According to Guai Chao's feedback, it had no way to communicate with the Supreme Void Mirror. Obviously, other than the weird Guai Chao, everything else required spiritual power. Yun Chujio thought that the reason why Guai Chao was not affected was probably because Guai Chao shared a body with her, so it was not limited by spiritual power. Come and read on our website Wuxiao World site. Thanks. How could she get out? Yun Chujio's head hurt from thinking, but she did not give up. She felt that there was always a way out. There must be a way out. Guai Chao had to admit that although its host was a little weak, its willpower was so strong that it was not human. If it was someone with weak willpower, they would have died hundreds of times. Yun Chujio paced back and forth in the stone room, counting the things she could use with her fingers. Dagger, useless. Draw a cross. Storage ring, useless. Draw a cross. Spirit beast pouch, useless. Draw a cross. Grand illusionary mirror, useless. Draw a cross. Black bead, free food, draw a cross. This fellow thought about it, but he could only find a breakthrough point from Guai Chao. Go Wei Ba, get me some corrosive liquid like weak water. I'll see if I can corrode the stone wall. Guai Chao painfully took out a drop. Yun Chujio dripped it on the stone wall, but there was no reaction. Yun Chujio could not help but feel a little dejected. This could not work, that could not work either. Was she really going to be trapped here for the rest of her life? Yun Chujio forced herself to calm down and once again looked for a breakthrough point from Guai Chao's body. Got it? Go Wei Ba, you go ahead and tease me to your heart's content. Summon all the demonic beasts in the vicinity. When the time comes, the demonic beasts will definitely be able to pull this stone room out. Naturally, someone will think of a way to get me out. Upon hearing Yun Chujio's instructions, Guai Chao began to shake the leaves on his body with all his might. This fellow was extremely pleased with himself. Didn't he still have to rely on it at the crucial moment? How could he bear to take care of this black-hearted little girl in the future? With a human and a grass acting as demons here, the Chaos Origin sect was once again in trouble. Master Bailey looked at himself in the mirror. Sigh, he had forcefully added a lot of white hair these days. It was really worrying. At this moment, he felt as if the ground was trembling. What was going on? Was the Earth Dragon going to turn over a new leaf? His identity jade tokens suddenly trembled. After Master Bailey sent his divine sense in, he heard Mountain Master he shouting, "Master! The demon beasts have gone mad! The demon beasts have gone mad!" Master Bailey frowned. At his age, this Mountain Master he was speaking without any reason. What did he mean by the demon beasts going mad? Before he could ask further, the identity jade token and the voice transmission talisman started to explode. "Master, this is bad. The demon beasts in our spirit beast garden are all ramming into the array formation like crazy. The demon beasts at the back of the mountains are all rushing toward the back of W Peak. Master, this is bad. The snow jade silkworms of Tianji Peak are jumping out of the mulberry garden like crazy. Master, all the demon beasts are rushing toward the back of the mountain, and even the red-feathered chickens in the kitchen are ramming the cages like crazy. Master, there are many demon birds and demon insects approaching the back of W Peak. Also, there seems to be a large number of demon beasts on the way. Should we activate the sect protecting array formation?" Master Bailey couldn't care less about the white hair and black hair anymore. He rushed out of the courtyard, and from afar he could see the demonic birds and demonic insects that blotted out the sky rushing towards the back mountain of Tianshu Peak. Moreover, the ground was trembling more and more violently. Clearly, there were many demonic beasts rushing over. They had committed a sin. What on earth was going on? Even if the demonic beasts were rebelling, they shouldn't just run towards their primordial chaos sect. Moreover, it seemed like they were heading towards the back mountain of W Peak. Could it be that these demon beasts had really gone mad? The 4 grand elders hurriedly rushed over. The 4 old men wiped their sweat. It had been many years since they had been safe. Why had there been so many accidents recently? The 6 peak masters also rushed over hurriedly. The most important thing now was whether or not to activate the sect protecting array. If it was activated, even if the sect protecting array was very powerful, with so many demonic beasts attacking, it would consume a lot of energy every day. Moreover, if the sect protecting array was damaged, it would be disastrous if anything bad happened in the future. However, if the sect protecting array was not activated, the purpose of these demonic beasts would be unclear again. What if they attacked people? In the end, everyone decided to check the back of W Peak and ordered all the disciples of the Primordial Chaos sect to gather at the Primordial Square. If the demonic beasts really went out of control, they could at least rely on the ancient array to hold on for a while. Master Bailey and the others didn't dare to get too close, so they only rode their swords and watched from above. They saw that the demonic beasts and demonic insects that arrived first, regardless of their level, didn't attack each other. Instead, they were all doing their best, digging the ground. Master Bailey and the others looked at each other in confusion. What were they doing? A supreme elder muttered, "Could it be that this has something to do with the spirit energy cluster that appeared earlier? Perhaps there are some heavenly treasures below that are attracting them?" Everyone felt that what he said made a lot of sense. It was either a heavenly treasure or the egg of an immortal beast or a strange beast. That was why these demonic beasts were so crazy. As more and more demon beasts gathered, the demon beasts began to dig in batches. Especially when some demon beasts who were good at digging came, the speed of digging was much faster. Soon, a huge pit appeared, but the demon beasts continued to dig and dig. More beasts were more powerful. In less than half a day, the hole they dug was already very, very deep. Master Bailey and the others saw that the beasts didn't pay much attention to them, so they got closer and closer. They stretched their necks and looked into the hole. There was nothing but mud. However, looking at the beasts, they seemed to be even more excited. This meant that the thing they were looking for was getting closer and closer. What exactly were they looking for? As time passed, only a few scattered demonic beasts were still rushing over. Master Bailey and the others let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that it wasn't a demonic beast riot, but only some nearby demonic beasts had come over. The demonic beasts dug for an entire night. When the sun had just risen the next day, Master Xiahou of the Murderous Origins sect came to join in the fun again. Master Bailey had originally planned to shut him out, but he didn't expect this person to be so eloquent. He said that the abnormal demonic beasts were a major matter related to the immortal origin continent, and it wasn't a matter of the entire primordial chaos sect. Moreover, he stated that, no matter what good things there were, he wouldn't take them. If not for Master Bailey's status, he would have spat at Master Bailey. You shameless old man, even if there were good things, they were in the territory of the primordial chaos sect. If Master Bailey dared to take them, he wouldn't be beaten to death. Since Master Xiahou had said so much, Master Bailey had no choice but to ask someone to invite him over. Master Xiahou looked at the situation in front of him, and his face was immediately filled with shock. In front of him was a deep pit that could not be seen at the bottom. If it was dug by manpower, it would take a long time. However, because there were many demon beasts that were good at digging holes, it only took one night to do it. Master Xiahou looked at the demon beasts again. Although there were many of them and they looked excited, there was no law of the jungle. Each and every one of them seemed to be only interested in the things in the deep pit. What on earth was down there? Another half a day passed, and the sound of digging was no longer heard. Instead, it was the sound of claws hitting hard objects. Everyone's expression brightened. However, the light in the pit was dim, and there were many demonic beasts in it, so they could not see clearly. Everyone was anxious. They wanted to drive the demonic beasts away, but there were too many of them. Once they were angered, there would be a fierce battle. At this moment, the emotions of the demonic beasts changed. They seemed to have turned from excitement to confusion, and the demonic beasts that were good at digging holes also stopped moving. Then, the demonic beasts seemed to have woken up from a dream, especially the low-level demonic beasts that started to run for their lives. The low-level demonic beasts rampaged, so the high-level demonic beasts naturally wouldn't just stand there in a daze. Thus, the scene instantly became extremely chaotic. Fortunately, Master Bailey and the others had high spiritual power, and there were quite a number of them. Those demonic beasts didn't go up and attack them insensibly. After a period of chaos, the back mountain of Dubhe Peak finally regained its peace. Only then did everyone jump into the deep pit one after another. They saw that there was actually a stone slab under their feet, and it was a material that they had never seen before. Obviously, there should be a secret room or something under the stone slab. Everyone was excited. There must be a treasure inside, or else the demonic beasts wouldn't be so crazy. However, no matter how many methods they used, they still couldn't open the stone slab. They had no choice but to find more disciples to continue digging. Finally, they saw the entire stone chamber. The entire stone chamber was one, without a single crack. Everyone tried their best, but they still couldn't open it. At this moment, Master Xiahou said from the side, "I have a way to open this stone room. However, if you want my help, you must give half of the treasures inside to our Shi Yuan sect." Everyone glared angrily at Master Xiahou. How shameless! Why should their primordial chaos sect give half of their things to the killing origin sect? Dream on! Master Xiahou saw that no one was paying attention to him, so he wasn't angry either. He said with a fake smile, "I advise you to agree. Otherwise, wouldn't it be bad if you end up with nothing? All treasures have their own characteristics. Who knows, they might grow legs and run away after a long time. When that time comes, none of you will have anywhere to cry." Master Bailey said snappily, "What can you do? I don't know what material this stone slab is made of. It's perfectly sewn and extremely hard. Even if you use a talisman, it's useless. There's only one way to open this stone slab, and that's for you and me to join hands. Your primordial chaos sect has the sun-shooting bow, while our killing primordial sect has the sun-shooting bow. It seems that this stone slab can only be opened by combining the bow and arrow. Master Xiaohu's tone became serious. He was obviously not joking. Everyone's eyes widened in surprise. They did not expect Master Xiahou to come up with such a suggestion. Back then, Master Huntian was worried that the sun-shooting bow would be too powerful, so he specially passed the bow and arrows to the two disciples of Master Hongyuan and Master Yuan Tian to avoid bringing harm to the people. Ever since Master Hongyuan betrayed the Hunyuan sect, the sun-shooting bow and the sun-shooting arrow had never appeared together again. They did not expect Master Xiahou to come up with such a suggestion today. The reason why Master Xiahou would do this was, of course, because he had his own motives. He felt that there must be something good under this stone slab. Even if there was no way to split the treasure, it would still be good enough to extort a sum of money. Most importantly, Master Xiahou felt that it was not a waste of his life to be able to witness the power of the sun-shooting arrow in this lifetime. Master Bailey was a little tempted. Although Xiahou Lin had ulterior motives, this suggestion was still feasible. Otherwise, once the stone chamber disappeared again, they would really end up with nothing. Master Bailey and the four supreme elders discussed and agreed to Master Xiaohu's proposal. Thus, Master Bailey took out the sun-shooting bow and Master Xiahou took out the sun-shooting arrow. Both of their hands slightly trembled. This sun-shooting arrow was different from ordinary bows and arrows. Its bow and arrow were independent divine weapons, however, they were not as powerful as when they were combined together. Master Bailey and Master Xiahou did not trust each other. They could only swear in their hearts that they would not be greedy for each other's things. Only then did Master Xiahou hand the sun-shooting arrow to Master Bailey. Everyone was afraid that the power of the sun-shooting arrow would be too great to be affected, so they all jumped to the top of the deep pit. Only then did Master Bailey pull the bowstring, and the sun-shooting arrow in his hand went straight for the stone slab. Boom! With a loud, earth-shattering sound, the huge stone slab instantly shattered into pieces, stirring up a cloud of dust. After the dust had dispersed, everyone looked down with eager eyes, especially Master Xiahou, whose old heart was thumping violently. There must be a great treasure hidden down there. What exactly was it? More than 10 pairs of eyes were focused on the gap in the stone chamber. Just as they were about to jump down, they heard a cough coming from inside. Cough, 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 cough. Emma, I'm finally out. Which great benefactor saved me? Everyone was stunned to see a little girl sitting on a large chopping board flying up. Oh God, isn't that Yun Chujio? Could it be that this stone room was actually the number 14 reflection cave? The others were better off, but Master Xiaohu's heart was cold. Where was the treasure? Where was the treasure? Why was it this little girl? Master Xiahou pinched himself hard. Upon closer inspection, it was still that lively little girl, and he immediately felt his heart turn cold. He originally thought that there was a treasure down there, and he could take the opportunity to split half of it, or to extort some spirit stones. But now, he actually helped save a little girl, and she was even wearing the clothes of a handyman. He really suffered a great loss. Master Xiahou and the others were unwilling to give up. They jumped down and flipped around again, but there was nothing. Moreover, just as they left the stone room sank into the ground again. Although Master Bailey and the others were a little disappointed, they were still able to save the disciples of their own sect. Especially Master Bailey. He knew about the relationship between Yun Chujio and the Divine Devil Hall, so he was very happy. After Yun Chujio flew up, she solemnly bowed to everyone and said a bunch of sweet words. It was nothing more than thanking everyone for saving her. Master Xiahou felt as if his teeth had fallen to the ground and he swallowed them. Master Bailey gritted his teeth and asked Master Bailey, although I didn't find any treasure, I have already helped your primordial chaos sect a lot. Don't tell me you haven't expressed anything at all? Master Bailey felt much better when he saw Master Xiaohu's expression. He smiled and said, I wonder what Master Xiahou would like to express? Humph. Originally, we said that we would split the treasure if we found it. Now that we're a living person, we naturally can't split it. Then, well, compensate our murderous origin sect with 100 million high-grade spirit stones. Master Xiahou said unhappily. 100 million was already a small amount. Initially, he thought that he could at least get a few 100 million high-grade spirit stones back. Master Bailey did not say anything. Instead, he looked at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. This old fox, why is he looking at her? It was not a condition that she agreed to. Could it be that he wanted her to pay for it? What kind of joke was this? The 14th reflection cave belonged to the primordial chaos sect. If something went wrong, would he want her to pay for it? In your dreams? No way. Therefore, this fellow covered his head with his hand and kept screaming, I can't take it anymore. Maybe I've been locked up in there for too long. My head feels dizzy. The corner of Master Bailey's eyes twitched. This little girl was really stingy. For a moment, no one said anything. The atmosphere was very awkward. Master Xiahou was so angry that he couldn't take it anymore. The people of the primordial chaos sect were all more thick-skinned than the last one. They had agreed to it, but now they actually pretended to be stupid. This was really outrageous. Well, Sect Master, I still have some matters to attend to in my peak. They'll be leaving now. Mountain Master Zhua thought of his precious snow jade silkworm. He had been sitting on pins and needles for a long time. Now that the matter had been settled, he naturally wouldn't waste his time here. Besides, what if the money was on his head? With Mountain Master Zhua taking the lead, the others found all sorts of reasons and excuses to escape. Even the 4 grand elders left in a hurry, citing the fact that they were old and weak. Master Xiahou was so angry that he was twitching. Those 4 old things ran faster than rabbits. How could they be old and weak? Your primordial chaos sect shouldn't go too far. If you don't give us money today, we won't be finished. Master Xiahou roared loudly. His saliva was about to spray onto Master Bailey's face. Master Bailey laughed and said, I didn't say I wouldn't give it to you. Why are you so agitated? Yun Chujio, Master Xiahou lent us the sun-shooting arrow to save you. Shouldn't you show some gratitude? Yun Chujio's heart was like a mutt. She thought that Master Bailey, as the sect leader of a sect, wouldn't really open his mouth and ask her to pay. She didn't expect this old fox to be so shameless and actually say it out loud. Yun Chujio had 10,000 reasons to avoid it. However, when she thought about how good it was to enjoy the shade under a big tree, it was better not to offend Master Bailey. Thus, she decided to make a breakthrough with Master Xiahou. Master, you're right. This matter was caused by me. Naturally, I should take full responsibility. That, Master Xiahou, didn't you say that you would find half of the treasure? I am that treasure. Of course, it is immoral for a living person like me to be split in half. However, I can be a servant for your Shi Yuan sect. From now on, I will stay for 3 months and guarantee to serve the 2 sects fairly and justly. What do you think? My fire lighting skills are really good. I guarantee that you will get a good value for your money. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Master Xiahou, Master Bailey, oh my God, is there such a shameless person in this world? Why would the murderous Yuan sect need a handyman to light a fire? Besides, with you causing trouble every few days, I'm afraid that you will have to pay for it. The murderous Yuan sect wouldn't want it either. Sure enough, Master Xiahou was so angry that he rolled his eyes. As the sect master of a sect, he had never been treated with such leisure. Today, he had learned what it meant to be shameless. Bai Liyin was shameless, and this Yun Chujio was even more shameless. The more Master Xiahou thought about it, the angrier he got. He glared at Yun Chujio fiercely. Fine. Since that's the case, you will come back to the murderous Yuan sect with me. From now on, the kitchen stove of the murderous Yuan sect will belong to you alone. Master Bailey was originally watching the show from the side, but he didn't expect Master Xiahou to really take Yun Chujio away. How could he allow such a ridiculous thing to happen? He quickly said, Master Xiahou, calm down. I was just joking just now. It's only 100 million upper-grade spirit stones. There's no need for you to be so angry. They'll transfer it to you. Master Xiahou was also trying to fight for his reputation. He sneered and said, "I don't want your spirit stones. I want this little girl who is lighting the fire." Master Bailey tried to persuade him for a while, but Master Xiahou was too stubborn. Moreover, he liked to go against Master Bailey. No matter what, he had to take Yun Chujio away. Moreover, Master Xiahou said with conviction, "Bai Li Yin, we have an agreement. If we dig out half of the things, then we will stay here for 3 months according to what she said. Goodbye. After 3 months, we will naturally send someone to send her back." Master Xiahou glared at Yun Chujio. "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and leave with me." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. It was good to go to the murderous Yuan sect for a walk. The people of the murderous Yuan sect were considered her juniors. She would just treat it as an inspection. Master Bailey saw Master Xiaohu's intention and he was in the wrong. He could only say, "Xiahou Lin, don't blame me for not reminding you. This little girl is not an easy person to deal with. If she gets into trouble, don't blame me. Besides, you know about her and the Divine Devil Hall. You have to protect her little life." Master Xiahou snorted, "What can a little servant get into trouble for? As for her little life, that depends on her own ability." Master Bailey knew Master Xiahou quite well. He knew that even though he said so, he would still look at Yun Chujio. Therefore, he felt that he should let Yun Chujio cause some harm. No. It was not bad to experience the life of the Shi Yuan sect. This was because, for some reason, Master Bailey felt that the recent mess seemed to have something to do with this little girl. Occasionally missing content, please report errors in time. Master Xiahou angrily left the Primordial Chaos sect with Yun Chujio and boarded the Flying Spirit Tool. Yun Chujio hurriedly sent a voice transmission talisman to Jin Ji and then to Di Baiming, stating that she would go to the Primordial Murder sect to play for a few days so that they did not have to worry. Jin Ji replied very quickly. It was unknown whether Di Baiming did not see it or was too busy to leave, so he did not reply immediately. After Yun Chujio sent out the voice transmission talisman, she obediently hid in the corner. Although this guy had the juice of Guai Chao to save his life, he still felt hungry for a long, long time in his heart, so naturally, it was more important to fill his stomach first. Master Xiahou glanced at Yun Chujio with disdain. No wonder he was a handyman in the big kitchen. So he was a good-for-nothing. He thought back to when he was in the Sky-Bearing Alliance. He felt that he was quite smart. How did he become a good-for-nothing after staying in the Chaos Origin sect for half a year? The Murderous Origin sect was not too far from the Chaos Origin sect. In addition, Master Xiaohu's Flying Spirit Tool was quite powerful. Therefore, after 4 hours, the Flying Spirit Tool arrived at the Murderous Origin sect. Although Master Xiahou was the sect master of the Murderous Origin sect, he still had to walk to the front of the mountain gate. Yun Chujio looked at the mountain gate of the Origin Killing sect and almost burst out laughing. This was simply a copy of the mountain gate of the Origin Killing sect. It looked quite similar, but it didn't have the ancient and powerful aura of the mountain gate of the Origin Killing sect. Of course, it didn't look too bad. After all, it was a super sect that had been around for tens of thousands of years. It still had some foundation. It was possible that they didn't find the stone Pai Xiao at the gate of the Murderous Yuan sect, so they had placed 2 jade-eyed stone lions there. It looked quite normal. Perhaps it was because Yun Chujio's disdain was too obvious, but the 2 jade-eyed lions actually spoke in human language. Humph! A little girl that the heavenly Tao doesn't allow actually dares to look down on us? That's right, little Xiahou, you are not allowed to bring this smelly girl in. Master Xiahou was shocked and embarrassed. No matter who was at such an age, being called Little Xiahou by the 2 stone lions would be very awkward, alright? However, he really couldn't say anything. After all, these 2 stone lions were much older than him. Since the guardian stone beasts don't like you, then you should return to the Primordial Chaos sect. I will send someone to send you back, Master Xiahou said with a stiff face. Yun Chujio thought to herself, what a joke. They are already here and they are going back just like that. Besides, if this news were to spread, how embarrassing would it be? Thus, this fellow said with a smile, Master Sect Leader, I reckon that these two stone lions have some misunderstandings about me. I will communicate with them at a close distance, and they will definitely change their views of me. As Yun Chujio said this, she secretly held Patriarch Hangyuan's ring in her hand. She walked to the stone lion on the east side and said, "What did you say just now? You don't want me to go in? Did you not wake up just now, so what you said was nonsense?" Master Xiahou almost laughed out of anger. Did this Yun Chujio think that this stone lion was easy to fool? If she angered them, she would not have a good ending. Unexpectedly, that stone lion trembled twice. Then, it said flatteringly, "Yes, yes, you're right. I wasn't awake just now and spouted nonsense. We warmly welcome you to our Shiyuan sect. Welcome, welcome, warmly welcome." The other stone lion also said flatteringly, "Yes, yes, I wasn't awake just now. Welcome, welcome, warmly welcome." Master Xiahou, in broad daylight, did he see a ghost? Yun Chujio nodded her head in satisfaction. "Master, our Shiyuan sect's stone lion is quite cute." Only then did Master Xiahou notice that Yun Chujio had changed from calling him Master Xiahou to Master, and even our Shiyuan sect. This little girl had changed so quickly. She was really a fence-sitter. Master Xiahou entered the murderous origin sect under the warm welcome of the two stone lions. He felt that it was extremely ridiculous. Even he, as the sect master, had never received such treatment before. He did not expect that this little girl who had repaid her debt would receive such treatment. Wasn't this too much of a joke? The two stone lions at the door were probably too old and muddle-headed. The moment Master Xiahou entered the murderous origin sect, he said to his successor disciple Leng Kuei, "Bring Yun Chujio to the General Affairs office and get someone to arrange for her to be a fireman in the big kitchen. Keep an eye on her. As long as her life is saved, it's fine. You don't have to care about other things." When Master Xiahou said this, he didn't carry Yun Chujio behind his back. It was obvious that he was telling Yun Chujio to stop. Yun Chujio acted as if she didn't hear him and continued to look at Master Xiahou with a smile. Master Xiahou snorted and was about to leave with a flick of his sleeve. Unexpectedly, Yun Chujio suddenly said with a smile, "Master, please wait a moment. Can you give me one of your voice transmission talismans? Master Bailey even gave me one. You can't be more stingy than him, right?" How could Master Xiaohu's voice transmission talisman be given to just anyone? However, Yun Chujio had pinpointed his weak spot, which was that he was always competing with Master Bailey. Therefore, she snorted coldly, threw a voice transmission talisman to Yun Chujio, and then left. Yun Chujio's eyes flashed. This was a life-saving talisman, so she had to keep it well. Leng Kuei was as obedient as a grandson in front of Master Xiahou. However, once Master Xiahou left, he immediately sneered and said, "I didn't expect you to be so resourceful. You even got my master's voice transmission talisman. I'm warning you, our murderous Yuan sect is not the Han Yuan sect. If you dare to do anything, Leng Kuei will not forgive you. Senior brother Leng, don't worry. I will be obedient and keep the fire burning in the kitchen. I won't cause any trouble," Yun Chujio said obediently. Leng Kuei snorted coldly when he saw this. He brought Yun Chujio and rode his sword to the General Affairs office on the Golden Peak. The murderous Yuan sect was divided into 5 peaks: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. The Golden Peak was the main peak. The General Affairs Office and the Law Enforcement Office were all located on the Golden Peak. Yun Chujio could finally see that the murderous Yuan sect was a completely fake version of the Han Yuan sect. They were basically the same. After the two of them arrived at the General Affairs Office, the General Affairs Office was guarded by a steward surnamed Lu. When he saw Leng Kuei, he was extremely flattering. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. It seemed that this Leng Kuei was quite popular in the murderous Yuan sect. However, it was also true. As the successor disciple of the sect master, he might become the sect master in the future. Naturally, he would be very popular. Leng Kuei said coldly, "This Yun Chujio is from the Han Yuan sect. Because of some matters, She will take turns to stay in each sect for 3 months in the future. You can arrange for her to be a busboy in the big kitchen. After Lung Kuei finished speaking, he did not bother with Manager Liu's questions and directly left. Manager Liu was completely dumbfounded. What the hell? This little girl will be taking turns to stay in the 2 sects in the future? She even brought this to play? Wasn't she afraid that she would leak some sect's secrets? Yun Chujio looked around and then whispered to Manager Liu, "Senior Brother Liu, can we talk further?" Manager Liu rolled his eyes and brought Yun Chujio to a room next door. "Senior Brother Liu, there are some secrets that I shouldn't reveal, but you and I are like old friends at first sight, so I'll let you know a little more," Yun Chujio said mysteriously. Manager Liu had always been curious about his good fortune. Now that he heard Yun Chujio say this, he was naturally curious and asked anxiously, "Junior Sister Yun, tell me quickly. What is it?" "To tell you the truth, I have been assigned an important task by the sect leader. Of course, it is not convenient for me to tell you what task it is. You can just arrange me to the big kitchen. I will handle the rest." Yun Chujio showed a proud expression. Manager Liu was skeptical and felt that it was impossible. Why would Master Xiahou arrange a little girl to do an important task? Moreover, it was a small handyman who went to the big kitchen to start a fire. Yun Chujio looked around, then, she took out Master Xiaohu's voice transmission talisman and shook it. "Do you see it? What is this?" "It is Master Xiaohu's voice transmission talisman. Do you know why you gave me the voice transmission talisman? This is for me to report to him at any time." Although Manager Liu had never seen Master Xiaohu's voice transmission talisman, he had heard that Master Xiaohu's voice transmission talisman had a special mark in the lower right corner. When he looked carefully at the talisman in Yun Chujio's hand, it was really Master Xiaohu's voice transmission talisman. Manager Liu immediately believed it 90%. His attitude towards Yun Chujio immediately became obsequious. "Junior Sister Yun, I didn't expect that you would be valued so highly by the master at such a young age. Your future is boundless." Yun Chujio smiled and shook her head. "Senior Brother Liu, you flatter me. I'm just helping the sect master with some matters. I'm new here. Senior Brother Liu, can you help me introduce some basic information about the murderous origin sect? Or is there anything that I need to pay special attention to?" Manager Liu was looking forward to it, so he told Yun Chujio everything that he knew. Yun Chujio did not show any emotion on her face, but she was very surprised. She did not expect that although the murderous origin sect was very similar to the primordial chaos sect in many ways, the essence of this sect was completely different. The primordial chaos sect advocated unity and mutual assistance, and strictly forbade disciples from killing each other. The murderous origin sect, on the other hand, was the survival of the fittest. It did not prevent disciples from killing each other. It was just that they did not allow private fights to take place on the competition stage. Moreover, as long as one party raised a challenge, the other party did not have the right to refuse. They had to go on the competition stage. According to Manager Liu, people would go to the competition stage every few days to seek revenge. It was also common for people to die. However, fortunately, the killing origins sect was well known. There were many people who came because of their reputation, so they did not take the deaths of their disciples to heart. Yun Chujio thought to herself, "This killing origins sect is so brutal." However, her actual spiritual power had already reached the 5th level of the spiritual void tier. Moreover, she had absorbed the heavenly lightning before and was on the verge of breaking through again. It would not take long for her to break through again. Moreover, she still had a lot of talismans. Anyone who offended her would be courting death. Manager Liu briefly introduced some things to take note of. Then he gave Yun Chujio a set of sect resources. Then he sent his men to bring Yun Chujio to the kitchen to report. Yun Chujio strolled behind the disciple. The voice transmission talisman in her storage ring started to vibrate. Di Baiming's voice came from inside. "Little Jiao, this venerable one will be able to reach the Shi Yuan sect tonight. Just wait for me in peace." Occasionally missing content, please report errors in time. The corner of Yun Chujio's eyes twitched violently. Oh my god, she had just arrived at the origin-killing sect. She had yet to figure out everything and he was already coming? Yun Chujio thought for a moment and replied to Di Biming with a voice transmission talisman. Prince Charming, I just arrived at the origin-killing sect today. Wait for me to settle down. You can come back tomorrow. The voice transmission talisman soon began to vibrate. Di Biming's slightly displeased and irrefutable voice came from within. Little Jio, I think tonight will be very good. Let's call it a day. Yun Chujio almost gasped. What do you mean that's it? This little gigolo who wants to be beaten up is really going to be beaten up for 3 days. Just you wait. Yun Chujio put away the voice transmission talisman and decided to put Di Biming aside first and deal with the matter in front of her. The disciple in the General Affairs Department had seen Manager Liu's flattering attitude towards Yun Chujio, so his attitude towards Yun Chujio was very cordial. Junior Sister Yun, the big kitchen has always been a group of people. Either you have high spiritual power, a backing, or spiritual stones. Otherwise, you will definitely be bullied after you enter. You have to be mentally prepared. Yun Chujio nodded without batting an eyelid. Thank you very much, senior brother. I wonder if the accommodation is arranged by the big kitchen or the General Affairs Department. Seeing how calm Yun Chujio was, that disciple felt that this little girl was even more unfathomable. His attitude became even more fawning. Junior Sister Yun, the accommodation is usually arranged by the big kitchen itself. However, if Junior Sister Yun needs it, I can help Junior Sister Yun choose a slightly better courtyard. Then he'll have to trouble you, senior brother. Help me choose a courtyard with a more remote location. It's best if there's no one living in the surrounding area. With this amount of spirit stones, buy a bag of tea and drink it. Yun Chujio said as she transferred 3,000 upper-grade spirit stones to that disciple. The reason why Yun Chujio passed 3,000 spirit stones to him was because she felt that she couldn't show off her wealth too much. Moreover, it couldn't be too little, so 3,000 was just right. Seeing that Yun Chujio was so tactful, that disciple's smile immediately became more sincere. No problem, no problem. When we arrive at the big kitchen in a while, it'll directly help you arrange a place to stay. The two of them chatted as they quickly arrived at the big kitchen at the foot of the Golden Peak Mountain. As it was noon, both the big kitchen and the dining hall in front of the big kitchen were bustling with people. It was very lively. The disciple brought Yun Chujio into the kitchen and shouted, "Steward Wang, I've brought you a handyman to light the fire." Soon, a big fat man came out from the kitchen and sized up Yun Chujio. "Oh, you're a handyman to light the fire? Are you sure?" That disciple hurriedly said, "Manager Wang, this junior sister Yun was personally brought back by the sect master. She will return to the Chaos Origin sect after staying in our Killing Origin sect for 3 months. From now on, she will stay at one side for 3 months." Fatty Wang was stunned. "What? Stay at one side for 3 months? Isn't our Killing Origin sect incompatible with the Chaos Origin sect? Why do we still have to do such a thing?" This is the decision of the sect master. The reason is not clear. "All right, junior sister Yun likes peace and quiet, so he'll have to trouble manager Wang to give junior sister Yun the dormitory at the end," said the disciple with a smile. Although Fatty Wang was the manager of the big kitchen, many things had to be done in the miscellaneous department. Therefore, he had to please that disciple. "Sure enough," Fatty Wang said with a smile, "what trouble is this?" "It's nothing. Thank you for your hard work, junior brother G." That disciple chatted with Fatty Wang for a while more, then turned around and left. After the disciple left, Fatty Wang sized up Yun Chujio and said, "Do you know the rules?" Yun Chujio asked in confusion, "Rules? What rules? Are they the rules of the Shiyuan sect?" Fatty Wang curled his lips. "I'm talking about the rules of our big kitchen. Any newbie who enters, there are 2 ways. The first way is to obediently give the newcomer fee, and the second way is to give the newcomer fee after being beaten up. Which one do you choose?" Yun Chujio's eyes flickered. Was she concealing her strength or acting recklessly? Yun Chujio thought of the days when she had to wake up early in the Chaos Origin Sect's big kitchen and immediately crossed out the path of concealing her strength. Damn it, her strength was more than enough to take care of this group of handymen. Why did she have to pretend to be a grandson? Hence, the corners of Yun Chujio's mouth curled up. Manager Wang, I'm really sorry. I don't want to choose either path. Fatty Wang thought that Yun Chujio, a little girl who had just arrived, would definitely obediently pay the money. Hence, he pursed his lips and planned to collect the money. He did not expect Yun Chujio to actually say such a thing. Fatty Wang was first stunned, then he said angrily out of embarrassment, "Little girl, don't you know the rules of our Killing Origin sect? Our Killing Origin sect is not like the Chaos Origin sect. If you don't follow the rules, you can go up to the competition stage at any time and kill you." Yun Chujio sneered. Isn't it just going up to the competition stage? What's so great about it? Why, do you want to go up to the competition stage with me? Fatty Wang felt that there was something wrong with his ears. A little girl at the 6th layer of the spiritual profound realm actually dared to provoke him? Was this little girl's brain damaged? Although the people in the big kitchen were busy with their own matters, they all pricked up their ears to pay attention to the situation here. Now that they saw Yun Chujio's unyielding attitude, they could not help but stop the work in their hands and look at Yun Chujio and Fatty Wang. Fatty Wang suddenly felt a little embarrassed. However, when he recalled the attitude of the disciple of the General Affairs Department towards Yun Chujio just now, he felt a little uncertain. Could it be that she had someone backing her? It was better to wait and see first. Anyway, there were many people who would find trouble with her. He just needed to watch coldly from the side. Thinking of this, Fatty Wang snorted coldly. Forget it. Since you're young, I won't argue with you. Xing, come here for a while. I'll leave this handyman to you. Take good care of her. A middle-aged man with a pointy mouth and monkey cheeks ran over. He naturally understood what Fatty Wang meant by taking care of her. He pursed his lips and said to Yun Chujio, "I'll leave the 5 stoves in the south to you. If you delay the cooking, you'll suffer." Yun Chujio was not stupid. The south was under direct sunlight, and the temperature of the stoves was the worst. Moreover, there were only 10 stoves in the big kitchen, and she was asked to be in charge of 5 stoves? This was clearly bullying. Yun Chujio raised her eyebrows. "I think that stove is not bad. I will be in charge of that from now on. If you have any objections, let's go up to the competition stage." Xing looked at the stove that Yun Chujio pointed at, and he was so angry that his nose almost went crooked. That stove was an abandoned stove. It had been a long time since anyone had used it. How could someone be in charge of such a stove? Xing said exasperatedly, What do you mean? Do you want to rebel? Either accept the mission or get lost." "Get lost? But the sect leader asked me to come to the kitchen to light the fire. How dare you disobey the sect leader's orders? Besides, I'm warning you, I'm under the sect leader's protection. You all better be careful. Trying to extort my spirit stones? Trying to bully me? Dream on. I'll be in charge of that stove in the future. If anyone has any objections, I'll accept the challenge at any time. Isn't it just going to be a competition? Beating one to death will make one less. Steward Wang, give me the dormitory jade medallion. I'm too tired from traveling. I need to take a nap." Fatty Wang and the people in the big kitchen were all dumbstruck. This was the first time they had seen such an arrogant newcomer. Was she really confident or was she just bluffing? Fatty Wang couldn't figure out Yun Chujio's background at the moment, so he decided not to offend her first. It wouldn't be too late to settle the score after he found out the truth. Therefore, Fatty Wang handed the dormitory jade token to Yun Chujio and said a few polite words. It was only because she was young and new to this place that he did not care about Yun. Yun Chujio could not be bothered with him. Her eyes scanned the kitchen and finally walked to the dining table. She picked a few dishes that she liked and put them into her storage ring. Then she swaggered out of the kitchen. Fatty Wang almost fainted from anger. He took a deep breath and did not bother to eat anymore. He rushed to the General Affairs Department. He had already thought it through. He would first go to the General Affairs Department's manager Lu to find out the truth. It would be fine if this wretched girl had a backer. If she did not, she would have a good ending. Fatty Wang went to the General Affairs Department. After seeing Manager Lu, he asked about Yun Chujio. Manager Lu usually had a good relationship with Fatty Wang. Therefore, he said ambiguously, "Anyway, your big kitchen is not short of people. If she doesn't work, then she doesn't work. Besides, she will return to the Primordial Chaos sect in 3 months. Why do you have to be so serious with her?" Fatty Wang was not stupid. Once he heard that there was something fishy going on, he decided in his heart to not provoke that little girl. She probably had a big background. Yun Chujio did not know that the secret chess piece that she had set up had already worked. This fellow was cleaning the courtyard. After she left the big kitchen, she found a random person and asked around. She found her courtyard. Although the courtyard was a little small and a little broken, it was still okay to clean it up. The key was that this place was close to the back of the mountain. It was very quiet. If the gigolo was a demon, it could also be within the control range. It would not cause too much trouble. Yun Chujio worked hard for a while and finally cleaned up the house. She also set up swings and stone tables in the courtyard. Instantly, the small courtyard became lively. Everything was ready. Now, they were just waiting for the gigolo to arrive. Yun Chujio recalled the arrogant tone of Di Biming in the voice transmission talisman. She immediately became angry. She had to think of a way to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he would really fly into the sky. The sky gradually darkened. Yun Chujio guessed that Di Biming would be here soon. This guy made some chili noodles to make his eyes red. Then, he laid under the blanket and waited for the fish to take the bait. Unfortunately, the fish did not come after a long time. She covered her body with sweat and was so angry that she was twitching. Just when this guy was about to send a voice transmission talisman to Di Biming, the door was pushed open. Under the moonlight, a certain person with a halo walked in. Yun Chujio saw that a certain person was still dressed in white, and the corner of her mouth twitched speechlessly. Sneaking into the murderous Yuan sect in the middle of the night, he was actually dressed in eye-catching white clothes. "You're really awesome." Yun Chujio hid her head under the blanket and ignored Di Biming. Di Biming originally thought that his little wife would greet him with a bright smile. Who would have thought that he would only see a cocoon wrapped in the blanket? How could a certain Jio who was arrogant and overbearing be able to stand this? She immediately snorted in displeasure. "Little Jio, what are you doing? Can't you see that I'm here? Why aren't you here to help me clean my face?" A certain Jio who was wrapped in the blanket cursed silently, "Clean your head." Fortunately, she had foresight. Otherwise, this gigolo might have tortured her. Di Biming saw that Yun Chujio still did not say anything, and his expression became even more displeased. "Little Jio, didn't you hear what I said? If you don't come over now, I will be angry." Angry? It would be better if he was angered to the point of fainting. Arrogant. A certain Jio secretly ridiculed under the blanket. If she did not make the pretty boy obedient today, her name would not be Yun Chujio. Di Biming saw that Yun Chujio still did not move. He walked to the bed with a cold face and used his hand to lift up Yun Chujio's blanket. "Black thing, you are getting more and more daring." Di Biming's words stopped abruptly because when he saw Yun Chujio under the blanket, her eyes were as red as a rabbit's and her face was full of tears. He immediately panicked. "Little Jio, what happened to you? Who bullied you? Tell me, I'll help you kill him." Yun Chujio did not speak. She only shed tears silently. Moreover, she was sobbing. Her appearance was so pitiful. Di Biming's heart was about to break. "Little Jio, you really worried me to death. Say something, who provoked you?" Di Biming hugged Yun Chujio and was so anxious that he wanted to hit the wall. Yun Chujio wiped her tears on Di Biming's body and sobbed, "No one bullied me, I was the one who was sad. I'm really useless. Sob so be, I feel that there's no meaning in living anymore." Di Biming's heart ached. He knew that Yun Chujio's character was very tenacious. If she did not meet with some big trouble, she would not be like this. What exactly happened? Could it be that something happened to Guai Chao again? Or did something bad happen? Little Gio, don't cry first. What exactly happened? Don't worry. As long as you say it, I will definitely help you solve it. Even if it can't be solved, let's discuss it properly. There will definitely be a way. Didn't you say that people should move on? What's going on? Say something. Di Baiming was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. However, Yun Chujio just cried and did not speak. A certain Gio felt that even if she was slashed a few times, it would still feel much better than this. It was simply too torturous. A certain Gio saw through the gap between her fingers that a certain Gio was about to go berserk. Only then did she sob and say, "Prince Charming, you don't have to care about me. I know that my worries are unnecessary. You won't listen to me even if I speak. Just let me be sad. Anyway, my little heart is already riddled with holes. Sob sob, my heart hurts so much." A certain Gio was still clutching her chest as she spoke, looking heartbroken. Di Baiming did not have the time to analyze what Yun Chujio was talking about. When he saw Yun Chujio clutching her chest, he quickly removed Yun Chujio's hand. He gently helped Yun Chujio rub her chest as he asked, "Are you feeling better? Does it still hurt?" A certain Gio was still pretending to groan at the beginning, but her face quickly turned red. What the fuck? Where was this shameless gigolo rubbing? A certain Gio also realized that the touch of her hand was not bad. Although it was only a small bump, it was completely different from the hardness and softness of a man's chest. She simply could not put it down. A certain Gio felt that there was a ball of fire burning in her lower abdomen. She wanted to tear the little thing in front of her apart and eat it immediately. A certain Gio's eyes became deeper and deeper. She bent down and prepared to kiss a certain Gio's lips. A certain Gio dodged shyly. A certain Gio's lips kissed a certain Gio's cheek, and she couldn't help but lick a certain Gio's tears. A certain Gio was stunned. Shouldn't tears be salty? Why were Mao Xiao Gio's tears spicy? A certain Gio's memory flashed through his mind. She had a criminal record. Bai Lian Gio did not know that the truth had been exposed. She continued to grumble, "Don't worry about me. Just let me live and die on my own. Anyway, you don't listen to me. What's the point of me living?" Di Baiming gritted his teeth and stood up. He said coldly, "Chili noodles? Do you think I'm an idiot? I was worried about your safety. I put down what I was doing and traveled day and night to see you. You actually used chili noodles to fool me? Little Gio, you've really disappointed me." After Di Baiming finished speaking, he clenched his fists tightly. His eyes were slightly red. It was unknown whether he was angry or sad. Yun Chujio's head buzzed. Oh no, she was exposed. Before this guy could think of a way to fix it, Di Baiming flicked his sleeves and actually turned around to leave the house. When Yun Chujio chased out of the house, she only saw an afterimage. This guy looked like he had nothing to live for. Was this the kind of situation where he made a fool of himself? If she had known earlier, she would not have used the props. She could still cry. This fellow pursed his lips and returned to the room. He took out a voice transmission talisman and said, "Prince Charming, I was wrong. Prince Charming, I did this for a reason. Don't you want to know the reason? Prince Charming, in order to express my apology, I'll sing you a song. Come back quickly and bring back my thoughts. Don't let my heart be empty like the sea." Unfortunately, the voice transmission talisman that was sent out was like mud sinking into the sea. Di Baiming completely ignored her. The feeling of guilt that this fellow originally had instantly turned into embarrassment and anger. This gigolo was becoming more and more stingy. Wasn't it just a harmless joke? Was there a need to be so angry? If he didn't come back, he would just poop. He just couldn't be bothered to look at his face that deserved a beating. Go to sleep. This guy randomly wiped his face and didn't take off his clothes. He lay on the bed and counted the sheep. As he counted, the sheep turned into a pretty boy. He could only count the pretty boy, one pretty boy, and two pretty boys. After an unknown amount of time, he finally fell asleep in a daze. What this guy didn't know was that a certain someone was squatting on a mountain with a voice transmission talisman in his hand, waiting for news. He had planned to come back when he heard Yun Chujio singing. However, he felt a little embarrassed, so he made up his mind. As long as Yun Chujio said something nice, he would go back. He didn't expect that there would be no end to it. A certain Jio was so angry. If it were someone else, who would dare to tease him like this? He would have been killed long ago. Unfortunately, he couldn't bear to make a move on a certain Jio. He could only stay on the mountain in the cold wind, feeling inexplicably sad. Finally, a certain Jio stood up and wanted to go back, but he felt a little embarrassed, so he hesitated and the sun rose. Hei Shinjio did not sleep well the whole night. She opened her eyes early and used her spiritual sense to scan the sound transmission talisman in her storage ring. Seeing that Di Baiming still ignored her, she felt a ball of fire in her heart and wanted to find someone to beat her up. A certain Jio who woke up in a fit of anger and had a broken heart syndrome, washed her face and went to the kitchen with a listless head. This fellow did not intend to come to work, but when he thought of Di Baiming from time to time in the dormitory, he felt uncomfortable. Therefore, he might as well find something to do to distract his attention. Yun Chujio had just entered the kitchen and immediately attracted the gazes of the people inside. Some were disdainful, some were jealous, and some were indignant. However, because Fatty Wong did not express his stance, no one dared to find fault with her. Fatty Wong had made up his mind after asking around yesterday. Naturally, he would not provoke Yun Chujio to avoid getting into trouble. However, he would not stop others if they wanted to teach Yun Chujio a lesson. That little girl was too arrogant, so he should get someone to teach her a lesson. Yun Chujio ignored everyone's gazes and walked to the stove that she was in charge of. She took out a small stool and sat on it, supporting her cheeks as she watched everyone work. One could imagine how stifled everyone was. Are you here to work or to supervise? Hisheng, who was in charge of the stove, glanced at Fatty Wong. When he saw that Fatty Wong did not say anything, he knew that he would not interfere. Thus, he threw the fire stick in his hand to Yun Chujio's feet. Yun Chujio, the 5 stoves in the south are all under your responsibility. What are you doing sitting here? Hurry up and start the fire. Yun Chujio had a belly full of anger from waking up and the resentment from being heartbroken. She immediately found an outlet to vent her anger. This guy picked up the fire stick and whipped at Hisheng. Burn your head. I said yesterday that I am only in charge of this stove. Are you deaf, or have you been kicked in the head by a donkey? Hisheng never thought that Yun Chujio would attack him at the slightest disagreement. After being whipped a few times, he finally reacted and reached out to grab the fire stick in Yun Chujio's hand. How could Yun Chujio let him grab it? The fire stick in her hand continued to hit Hisheng like raindrops. Hisheng was afraid of the sect rules, so he did not dare to use his spiritual power. He could only hide in a sorry state. Fatty Wong and the others were dumbfounded. They felt that the people of the murderous Yuan sect were cruel enough, but they would not go so far as to beat him up at the slightest disagreement. Was this little girl extremely bold, or did she not know the rules of the murderous Yuan sect? Hisheng finally ran behind Fatty Wong. Manager Wong, help, help. Fatty Wong curled his lips in disdain. He felt that Hisheng was really useless. He was actually forced into such a sorry state by a little girl at the 6th level of the Lingxian realm. Therefore, he stretched out his hand to grab the fire stick in Yun Chujio's hand. Firstly, he really wanted to stop Yun Chujio from committing murder. Secondly, he also wanted to show off his ability. Yun Chujio's eyes flickered. The fire stick in her hand was easily grabbed by Fatty Wong. Fatty Wong wanted to dodge the fire stick, but he pulled and did not move it. Fatty Wong gritted his teeth and pulled again, but he still did not move it. Fatty Wong's face turned red and he pulled again. Yes, he moved it. Then, he fell on all fours and even pressed Hisheng under his body. So, Hei Shinjio had let go. Fatty Wong's fat body pressed on Hisheng's body, almost breaking Hisheng's ribs. He was screaming in pain. Fatty Wong climbed up in a sorry state and pointed at Yun Chujio angrily. Are you rebelling? Yun Chujio curled her lips. Didn't you want a fire stick? Is there anything wrong with me letting go? Well, You want to fight? Then let's go to the competition stage? And you guys, if there's one, then there's one. Whoever isn't convinced, feel free to challenge us. Let's go to the competition stage and see who's stronger. Everyone was so angry that they were snorting. What did they mean by if there's one, then there's one? They weren't pigs. However, something was definitely wrong. This little girl's spiritual power was so low, and she actually took the initiative to provoke the competition stage. There must be something wrong with it. It was better to wait and see. They couldn't be impulsive. Fatty Wong thought of Manager Liu's ambiguous words and could only suppress his anger. He glared at Yun Chujio and turned to leave. Xing had the intention to take revenge, but when he saw that Fatty Wong had nothing else to say, he had no choice but to endure it first and curse a few words at the servants who were setting the fire. Yun Chujio took the fire stick and returned to her seat. She sat on the small stool and continued to daydream. After a while, the fragrance of the food began to spread. Yun Chujio stretched her neck and shouted, "Xing, get me some breakfast, I'm hungry." Xing almost choked. "Are you shameless? It's fine if you don't work, but you even ordered him to get her breakfast? Who does she think she is?" Xing was about to say a few words against Yun Chujio when he saw the fire stick in Yun Chujio's hand. He had no choice but to let a handyman prepare it for Yun Chujio. "That little guy, I don't want to eat the flour rolls. Pick up a few meat buns for me. Don't want that spiritual rice porridge, get me a bowl of that mixed grain porridge." A certain Gio sat on the small pony and was picky. The people in the big kitchen were extremely popular. How was this a handyman? This was a fucking ancestor. It had to be said that they knew the truth. This person was truly an ancestor. Thus, on one side, the people in the big kitchen were extremely busy. On the other side, a certain Gio was sitting on a small stool and eating her breakfast leisurely. This person, if he was in a bad mood, nothing would taste good. It was unknown if the pretty boy really left in a fit of anger. What a stingy person. After eating a little, a certain Gio decided to go out for a walk. This fellow drew a circle with the fire stick around the small pony and then said, "If anyone steps into my circle, I'll come back and break their legs. Do you hear me?" Everyone either lowered their heads in silence or pretended not to hear him, but no one dared to refute him. Yun Chujio nodded in satisfaction. On this point, the murderous origin sect was much better than the mixed origin sect. Anyone who disliked them could be killed directly. There were not so many rules and restrictions. Yun Chujio threw the fire stick on the ground and turned around to leave the kitchen. This guy decided to familiarize himself with the terrain first. After all, he would have to come here often in the future. It was better to be prepared. Therefore, this guy walked halfway up the Golden Peak. Since the Golden Peak was the main peak, he would start from the Golden Peak. Yun Chujio strolled around for a day. In the evening, she returned to the kitchen and saw that her small horse was safe and sound. The corner of her mouth curled up. Sure enough, fists were the real reason. This fellow picked up the dishes that she liked and put them into her storage ring. Then, she strolled back to the dormitory. As soon as she pushed open the courtyard door, she saw a certain Gio staring at her with a dead fish's eyes sitting beside the stone table. A certain Gio instantly smiled like a flower and pounced over. "Idol, my dear idol, I knew you wouldn't be really angry." Di Baiming had the intention to push Yun Chujio away, but his body was more honest than his brain. When he reacted, he had already hugged a certain Gio who was pouncing over. Yun Chujio rubbed against Di Baiming's chest. "My idol, I was wrong. I shouldn't have used the chili to deceive you, but I'm really sad. I only used the chili to make it more effective." Di Baiming snorted and pushed Yun Chujio away. "Lying is lying. There aren't that many reasons." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and threw herself into Di Baiming's arms again. She hugged Di Baiming's neck, she smiled and said, "Then I admit that I'm wrong, okay? I won't lie to you next time. I'm just worried about you. Don't be angry, okay?" This guy felt that it was okay to act coquettishly with his loved ones. He didn't even care if he was shameless. As long as he was thick-skinned and arrogant, he would become a little girl. You're worried about me? Are you trying to anger me to death? A certain Geo had intended to be cruel to the end, but she had lost all her imposing manner after being hugged and hugged by a certain Geo. Her words sounded a little arrogant. Prince Charming, I'm really worried about you. Didn't I tell you last time? I told you to keep a low profile and not be too arrogant, but not only did you not change, you even became worse. Do you think I wouldn't be worried? To put it bluntly, if anything were to happen to you, I would have to remarry. How troublesome. Di Baiming's anger had mostly subsided, but when he heard Yun Chujia's words, he immediately exploded. You let me tell you. Black thing, you were born to be my person, and you are my ghost. In this life, in the next life, you can never find another man. My Prince Charming, although your words are quite domineering. But if you die, you can't control me. I will marry whoever I want. Di Baiming was so angry that the cold air emitted from his body, and the tree next to the stone table instantly withered. Because, no matter how angry he was, he could not bear to hurt Yun Chujio, so the tree was unlucky. Yun Chujio looked at the tree that had turned into a withered tree and shrunk her neck. She quickly added, Prince Charming, I was just speaking in anger. My main thought is that you have to be careful when you do things. Otherwise, I will be very worried about you. Di Baiming snorted and ignored Yun Chujio. However, the cold air around him had weakened a lot. Prince Charming, besides, even if I want to find someone else, who in the world can compare to you? There's a saying that goes, once the ocean is troubled by water. With you in front of me, the other men are all broken bricks and tiles in my eyes. Yun Chujio said with sparkling eyes. Di Baiming thought about it and agreed. Who in the world could compare to the real me? The black thing simply wouldn't take a fancy to other people. Yun Chujio saw that Di Baiming's expression had eased up. She quickly continued to say, Love is deep and heavy. Everything I do is because I love you. Prince Charming, my love for you is even more real than a pearl, deeper than the ocean. Don't be angry. Xiao Hanio inside the spirit beast bag almost vomited. Damn, this black-hearted master is really thick-skinned. He could even say such sweet words. Just as Xiao Hanio was about to listen again, Yun Chujio cut off the spiritual sense connection. Xiao Hanio could not hear anymore, so he jumped in the spirit beast pouch anxiously. Di Baiming was even more narcissistic and arrogant than before. He did not think that Yun Chujio's words were mushy. He felt that Yun Chujio was telling the truth. She should love him so much. Forget it. I'll let you off this time. If you do it again, itching. Yun Chujio could hear the threat and arrogance in the last HMH. She cursed in her heart. Gigolo, there's still a long way to go. We'll see. Prince Charming, have you had dinner? Let's eat together? Yun Chujio said with a smile. Yes. The sad one was not only not eating dinner, but also breakfast and lunch. He was so angry that he finally made up his mind to wait for Yun Chujio in the courtyard. How could he still want to eat? Prince Charming, come try this. Isn't it delicious? Prince Charming, this tastes good too. I'll give it to you. Di Baiming's anger disappeared in a puff of smoke. Little Gio still cared about him a lot, so he could only reluctantly forgive her. My hand. A certain Gio exclaimed. Di Baiming was shocked. What's wrong? A certain Gio pouted. I wanted to help you peel a shrimp, but I pricked my hand. It hurt so much. A certain Gio was heartbroken and shouted, I have my own hand, why do I need you to peel it? Eat your own food. A certain Gio nodded and said weakly, but, I also want to eat it myself. I'll peel it for you. You're so clumsy, you can hurt your hand even if you peel a prawn, Di Baiming said while peeling the prawn shell. Hei Shinjio gave herself a 360-degree thumbs up in her heart. To deal with such a tsundra, she had to outsmart him. In order to show off, this guy deliberately restored the spiritual sense of Xiao Hanio and then showed off. Xiao Hei, look, this is what you call ability. No matter how arrogant the gigolo was, he still had to obediently peel the shrimp shells for me, right? Moreover, he was willing to do it. If you don't believe me, then let's give it a try. Prince Charming, let me do it myself. Hei Shinjio said weakly. Shut up. Just wait and eat. A certain lord shouted while fighting with the shrimp shells. Xiao Hanio was full of admiration. Evil people will be tortured by evil people. The gigolo, this big bad star, deserved to be taught a lesson by the master of the black heart. Thinking back to the past, this black-hearted master almost threw me to my death. Di Baiming did not know that his master and pet were secretly using him as a pastime. They helped Yun Chujio to peel a plate of prawns and place them in front of Yun Chujio. Here, eat. Yun Chujio's eyes sparkled. Prince Charming, you can even peel prawns so perfectly. You are indeed my Prince Charming. Although Di Baiming tried his best to endure it, the corner of his mouth still betrayed his current mood. He wished that there was another basin of shrimp in front of him so that he could show off his skills. He glanced at the table. There were no more shrimp, but there was a plate of fish. Thus, a certain god began to fight with the fish bones. The little black bird could no longer express its admiration for Hei Shinjio with words. Let alone the seal being broken, even if this pretty boy was allowed to live 10 more times, he would not be able to escape from the hands of the master of the Xiao Hanyo. Initially, he had wanted to make a big fuss to interrogate Hei Shinjio, but now he was peeling shrimp shells and picking fish bones. It was the complete opposite, all right. During dinner, Hei Shinjio had already resolved all of Di Baiming's anger. However, Di Baiming did not notice it at all. A certain Jiu was completely devoted to him and loved him dearly. After dinner, the two of them sat in the courtyard and chatted. As they chatted, Di Baiming frowned. Someone is here. I'll go and kill him so as not to disturb our conversation. Yun Chujio, oh my god. Is it really all right for you to kill someone just because of a disagreement? At this moment, the voice of the disciple surnamed Ji from the Miscellaneous Affairs Department came from the courtyard. Junior Sister Yun, are you in there? I have something to ask you. Yun Chujio persuaded Di Baiming to enter the house. Then, she put the teapot and teacups on the table into her storage ring. Only then did she put away the isolation array and open the courtyard door. Senior brother Ji, please come in. Do you have something to ask me? Yun Chujio asked politely. The disciple surnamed Ji motioned for Yun Chujio to close the door. Then he said in a low voice, this afternoon, senior brother Leng Kue went to the General Affairs Department to do some work. Then, Manager Lu asked about you. Senior brother Leng Kue told Manager Lu the truth. For some reason, Manager Liu's expression was very ugly. Then, in the evening, he called Fatty Wang into his room. I don't know what he said, but I only heard them mention your name occasionally. You have to be careful. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. Of course, she knew why Manager Lu was unhappy. He must have felt that she had fooled him and then signaled Fatty Wang to find trouble with her. She originally thought that Leng Kue would not go to the General Affairs office for a while. She did not expect him to go today. It could only be said that his luck was too bad. Of course, this bad luck did not refer to her, but to Fatty Wang. It was a good opportunity to use Fatty Wang as an example. She finally understood that if she wanted to gain a foothold in the primordial murder sect, she would have to be ruthless if she didn't have a backer. It would be exposed sooner or later, so she didn't plan on fooling Manager Lu for long. Moreover, she had Master Xiaoho as her amulet. As long as it wasn't too serious, it wouldn't be a problem. Yun Chujio thanked the disciple surnamed Ji and gave him 5,000 upper-grade spirit stones. The two sides understood each other and the disciple surnamed Ji left with satisfaction. Humph! What's senior brother Ji, senior brother dog? Who is he? Di Baiming asked with a cold face. Yun Chujio briefly explained the matter and then said, Prince Charming, I think the Killing Origin sect is much more fun than the Chaos Origin sect. If I see anyone who is not pleasing to the eye, I will let him go on the competition stage and kill him. Di Baiming was still very appreciative of Yun Chujio's domineering tone. He nodded. That's right. If you don't like him, kill him. Oh right, the jade token I gave you last time has been destroyed, right? I got another one. Here, they'll give it to you. It'll also give you the defensive spirit tools in this storage ring. Di Baiming handed Yun Chujio a storage ring. Yun Chujio used her divine sense to look inside and saw that there were hundreds of defensive spirit tools in addition to the defensive jade token of an immortal tool. Prince Charming, where did you get so many defensive spirit items? Yun Chujio asked in surprise. It's from the enemy. There will be more in the future. You can use them as you like. A certain Geo subconsciously straightened her back, looking like she was asking for praise. A certain Geo was very tactful. She immediately said sweet words. A certain Geo was being tricked to the point that she was going to fly into the sky. Little Geo, if you don't like anyone and you can beat them, then you can die. If you can't beat them, then remember this. When I come, I will help you kill them. Where is that fatty who was in charge? I will help you kill him now. A certain someone was addicted to being praised. He felt that he had to do something good again. Yun Chujio was touched and speechless. She shook her head. They are just clowns. I can handle them. Prince Charming, let me tell you about what happened recently. Help me analyze it. Yun Chujio told Di Baiming about what happened recently. When she mentioned that she had obtained many corpses of ancient cultivators in the Azura prison, Di Baiming interrupted her. Little Geo, I remember that you had collected a lot of remnant souls in the ancient sword tomb. Even if the corpses of those ancient cultivators were not theirs, they were still the best carriers for them to possess. Yun Chujio slapped her thigh. She was really mystified by the situation. She had not even thought of this. It seemed that good deeds were rewarded. She had originally planned to bury these corpses properly, but there were too many things to do recently. She had not had the time to do it yet. Although Yun Chujio wanted to test it out immediately, the remnant souls would be damaged once they came out. Moreover, the Killing Origin sect was not a suitable place, so she could only try it again in the future when she had the chance. Yun Chujio continued to talk about the Mermaid Man. Prince Charming, what do you think Brother Mermaid told me to be careful of? Is it blue, south, or something else? Di Baiming frowned when he heard the name Big Brother Mermaid. When he heard the word lawn, a thought flashed across his mind. Little Geo, I think that mermaid was talking about Lan. Lan Luochen, who was previously in the Tian Yuan continent, has disappeared. If you meet him in the future, don't bother with him. One look and you can tell that he is not a good person. Yun Chujio looked at Di Baiming speechlessly. She thought to herself, are you sure you are helping her with her analysis and not suppressing her imaginary enemy? Di Baiming coughed a little guiltily and said, I am not targeting him. Don't you think it said Lan? Other than the surname, what else could it be? Yun Chujio did not expose Di Baiming's narrow-mindedness and said perfunctorily, okay, I'll remember it. If I really meet him, I'll try my best to avoid him. Di Baiming reminded her a few more times. Yun Chujio really wanted to ask, what happened to being arrogant and arrogant? How did he become a chatterbox now? Di Baiming changed the topic and said, Little Geo, I'm going out to do something tomorrow. I'll come back to see you in a few days. If anyone bullies you, I'll come back and teach them a lesson. You mean you're not going back first? You're just taking care of something nearby? Di Baiming nodded. I'm going to pick something up. I'll be back in a month or half a month at most. Yun Chujio was very tactful. She did not ask further. She only told Di Baiming to be careful. That night, Di Baiming left the murderous Yuan sect. Since they would meet again soon, Yun Chujio was not too sad. This guy slept until the sun was high in the sky. He stretched his body and was about to get up when he heard the sound of the door being slammed. Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio. Hurry up and get to work, or else I'll sue you to the law enforcement office. Yun Chujio sneered in her heart when she heard He Xing's voice. He Xing was really stupid. He was probably being used as a gun by Fatty Wang. What are you shouting for? Sue whoever you want. Get lost. Yun Chujio shouted impatiently. He Xing, who was standing at the entrance of the courtyard, was about to explode with anger. He gnashed his teeth and said, Good. Yun Chujio, you forced me to do this. I officially issue a challenge to you. Let's meet at the competition stage in the afternoon. Good. Then you should hurry and enjoy the remaining few hours, because you are going to die soon. Yun Chujio said indifferently. It was good to go to the competition stage. It just so happened that she wanted to see the Killing Yuan sex competition stage. She reckoned that she would go up from time to time in the future. It was necessary to familiarize herself with it first. He Sheng was so angry that he did not know what to say. He gritted his teeth and left. After Yun Chujio washed up, she sauntered to the big kitchen and pointed at a handyman. Help me get some food. I'm starving. The handyman did not move. Instead, he stole a glance at Fatty Wang. Fatty Wang snorted coldly. Yun Chujio, it's already past breakfast time. Moreover, what right do you have to let other handymen serve you? Who do you think you are? The corners of Yun Chujio's mouth curled up. If I kill you, will my words be more forceful in this big kitchen? Fatty Wang did not understand Yun Chujio's meaning for a moment. He asked with some confusion, what do you mean? Yun Chujio said coldly, what I mean is, if I kill you, will no one in the big kitchen dare to disobey me? Isn't he Xing going to the competition stage with me in the afternoon? It's good that you're going too. He'll kill you after I kill him, so that there won't be people jumping around in front of me all day. He'll be annoyed. The kitchen was dead silent. Everyone thought that Yun Chujio was most likely crazy. A level 6 spiritual mystic realm cultivator was actually so rampant. She was courting death. Not to mention Fatty Wang, who was at level 5 of the spiritual void realm. She couldn't even defeat He Xing, who was at level 3 of the spiritual void realm. Fatty Wang snorted coldly. Yun Chujio, do you think that your lies haven't been seen through? Is that why you're here scaring people? Let me tell you, He Xing has already handed over the challenge token to the competition stage. You're dead meat today. I'm too lazy to waste my breath on idiots like you. Are you going to give me food or not? If you don't, you'll burn this big kitchen to the ground. I won't be able to recover, and none of you can think of anything good. He Shinjio said shamelessly. Everyone was so angry that they were about to faint. They had seen rascals before, but they had never seen such rascals. What was the sect leader thinking? How could he bring back such a disaster? Fatty Wang thought to himself that Yun Chujio would be dealt with in the afternoon anyway, so there was no need to lower himself to her level now. Hence, he gave the handyman a look, and the handyman followed Yun Chujio's request and prepared some food for her. Yun Chujio sat on the small pony and said as she ate, which one of you has borrowed Fatty Wang and He Shengqian? Hurry up and ask for it. Otherwise, if they die in the afternoon, you won't have anywhere to ask for money. Fatty Wang was so angry that he was twitching. Originally, this little girl at least called him Manager Wang, but now, she actually became Fatty Wang. Moreover, where did she get her confidence from? The person who died must be her. After Yun Chujio finished eating, she walked out of the big kitchen with her hands behind her back and strolled to the competition stage. Because people from the Killing Origin sect would go to the competition stage every 3 days, there were special people managing the competition stage. When the disciple on duty saw Yun Chujio, he asked, Junior sister, are you going to issue a challenge order? Yun Chujio shook her head. Which senior brother or elder is in charge here? I have something important to see you about. Just as the disciple on duty was hesitating whether he should say it or not, a fat old man walked out of the room. I am the person in charge of the competition stage. Little girl, why are you looking for me? This junior sister, this is Elder Qi. The disciple on duty reminded her from the side. Yun Chujio nodded. Elder Qi, may I have a word with you? Elder Qi glanced at Yun Chujio suspiciously. Although he did not think that Yun Chujio would have any important matters, there was nothing to worry about. It was fine to listen to her. When the two of them entered the room, Yun Chujio lowered her voice and kissed him. Elder Qi's expression changed from a casual expression to a serious one. Then, his eyes lit up and he finally laughed out loud. All right, well, do as you say. Deal. After Yun Chujio left the competition stage with a smile, Xing received a message from the competition stage. As the formation of the competition stage needed to be maintained, the competition between him and Yunchujio was moved to the afternoon of the next day. Although Xing complained a little, he didn't take it to heart. He didn't mind this one day. Sooner or later, he would be able to take care of that wretched girl. Unexpectedly, a piece of news was quickly spread in the Killing Origin sect. The competition stage introduced a new business. Every time someone went up the competition stage, everyone could place a bet. The winner would allocate the loser's gambling capital according to the amount of the bet. Of course, the competition stage could not be wasted. For every bet, the competition stage would take a 1% bonus. In order to prevent the competition stage from being manipulated, the competition stage's people were forbidden to place bets. You're tuning in to the Passion Page's YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.